too late. Hey, guess who's here? What are we serving tonight? Chicken or chicken?
What a nice surprise. They said we were going to be short-handed this leg. You two take coach. Oh, and could you handle the announcements?
Okie dokie. No problemo.
They're gonna know we're bogus.
Relax. You get on the horn. I'll throw some peanuts at him. We'll be in Chicago before you know it.
Okay, folks, the guy in front of you is Tommy. He'll be taking you through my little spiel here. Tommy is a Scorpio, he likes biking, and he's never been laid. Exits! Okay, there's one back here, and there's probably one over by the wing somewhere, usually. And what about seatbelts? To fasten. Take the little end and stick it in the big end, and you know what? If you guys don't know how to use a seatbelt, just ring your call button, and Tommy will come back there and hit you on the head with a tack hammer because you're a retard. Okay, and life preservers. These we may need. Although, what are the odds of us actually hitting a lake? My money says, if anything, it's gonna be a mountain. To inflate, put it around your neck and yank down on the tab.
I can't breathe!
He's a big dumb animal, isn't he, folks?
And welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I am Shanrae, and we are on week three of Embarrassment. The subtitle this week is, Can You Actually Die of Embarrassment? So before we get started, let me move on. Let's do my website disclaimer. I'm actually not going to say it. I'm going to play the recorder. You're not going to see my lips moving, but here we go.
Please be aware that due to the nature of the technology that I'm using, there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. It should also be noted that due to changes in policies, all replies are to be used as advisory and informational only and will not constitute an official determination. Information provided by myself are limited to the current and available material, but the final responsibility for successfully achieving a goal rests with you, the client.
All righty then. I actually cut it off a little early, but good evening. I want to say good evening to my YouTube viewers, good evening to my Twitter viewers, good evening to my Instagram viewers, to my Facebook viewers. Good evening. I see there's a comment. Hey, CJ, how you doing? So good to see you over there in YouTube land. All right, so let me move this on. Let me read my bio very quickly. I'm a degree counselor who've acquired a dual Bachelor of Science degree from Ashford University in psychology and organizational management. My great passion is bringing healing to people who've been through traumatic or stressful experiences. And we know as human beings, when we experience trauma or severe life stressors, it's not uncommon for us to feel like that our lives are unraveling. I do help clients who include children, adults, and families to find healthy perceptions of themselves and to strengthen their relationships so that they can know themselves as being peaceful, complete, whole, and safe. Again, our subtopic for this week is, Can you actually die of embarrassment? All right. Hi, Aunt Kiwi. Hi, Danielle. How you doing? Hey, Smart. How you doing, Smart? Good to see you. Okay, so let's move this along. Again, welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I'm Shanrae. This has been a platform of mine for over 5 years, guys. I do it every 3 months for 1 month straight on a certain topic. So welcome. So my scripture for the year is, it comes from Ephesians 4:23, the NIV version, and it says to be made renewed in your mind. All right. I don't think I should define embarrassment. I should have to. But for those that want a definition, embarrassment is a person or thing causing embarrassment. That's what I got with that definition. All right, so let's move this on because this 30 minutes is going to go and come by very quickly. Our key points for tonight are, number 1, can you actually die of embarrassment? Number 2, oh, no, you didn't. Number 3, why the red face? Number 4, being judged. And then, of course, we have our takeaway and our quote for tonight. All right, this is an open platform. So if you have any questions, I will stop, I will pause, and I will give highlight to whatever questions that you ask. If you see me looking different directions, again, I'm on several different platforms. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram. So I'm on different platforms for this evening. So if you see me looking in different directions, I'm just trying to acknowledge to see who's on what platform, and maybe if they're asking a question. Also, if you want to share a scenario, I will pause and I will highlight that scenario. No, no boys. I'm sorry. My puppy and my grandpup is here. Shh, shh. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. There we go. So let's move this along. All right. So tonight we are talking about, can you actually die of embarrassment? All right, so studies show, and I want to get on and off of this because I don't like to stay on a negative note. So I'm going to move this on and move on to some remedies and some positivity. So it says, like a wound that will not heal, extreme embarrassment can be a trigger for self-destructive behaviors and even suicidal thoughts and actions. So men are especially vulnerable when they are suddenly confronted by proof that they are not as smart, powerful, or brave as they think that they should be. Okay, so the resulting shame and embarrassment can drive them to harmful acts. And this is a theory of finding where it says this really affects men. Again, all right, so yes. Hey, stop that. Yes. Dealing with extreme embarrassment and shame, yes, it can lead to suicidal tendencies. All right, so let's move this on to, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. So embarrassment acts as a social glue, actually, that can strengthen our relationships. But it also has a dark side that research has found. So this research that I'm talking about on tonight, this theory is by Kirsten Ware, by Dr. Ware. Okay, so it says, fair warning, if you participate in any psychological experiment about embarrassment, you might find yourself squirming in your seat. And this is Dr. Ware. Okay, she one popular study designed, for instance, it asked participants to sing out loud. This is an experiment about being embarrassed. So they asked all the participants to sing out loud, and then forces them to watch a video of themselves belting out the tune, sans musical accompaniment. So another clever study claimed to employ eye tracking software as volunteers gazed at photos. Researchers led volunteers to believe that they spent an inordinate amount of time focusing on the private area of a fellow in a Speedo. So the cue was the sheepish looks. And this was an experiment. Hey, Helen. Hi, good to see you. So this week we're talking about embarrassment. Can someone actually die of embarrassment? And we started out by saying, yes, they can, because in severe cases, it leads to suicidal thoughts and tendencies. All right, so let's move this on about research. Those people that participated in a embarrassment research or study. No. Hey, I said no. I'm sorry, my puppies, guys, and my puppies are cutting up. All right, so embarrassment may be painful for those who experience it, but it is handy. It's a handy emotion to study, says Dr. Christine Harris, a PhD, a psychologist at the University of California in San Diego. So she says embarrassment is pretty easy to trigger. It's pretty easy to trigger. And which speaks to how powerful a force it is for almost all of us, she says. Powerful, but also puzzling. All right. So this is Dr. Harris that's giving her expertise on embarrassment. Hi, Sharita. Good to see you. So Dr. Harris asked some questions. Why are we so quick to feel an emotion that makes us so uncomfortable? And everybody has experienced embarrassment, okay? Yes, it is an emotion, but I mean everybody. Well, I did talk about last week, there are some people that actually don't experience embarrassment. Depends on the spectrum that they're on or if they're classified as a psychopath. Okay, so another question that Dr. Harris asked is, what does a tendency toward mortification mean? And so psychologists' research reveals that this complex sentiment, no, I'm sorry, my puppies. This complex sentiment comes with both pros and cons. Embarrassment may repair social relationships and even advertise positive character traits. But at the same time, the sheepishness could lead you to make less than stellar decisions. Okay, so sometimes when you're too embarrassed, hey Lorenzo, how you doing? When you're so embarrassed till it affects your logic, that part of your mind, your mentality, where your logic and reason is affected when if it's in cases of severe embarrassment. Now I've been sharing all the last 3 weeks. When I was in the 6th grade, I had a very humiliating moment, embarrassing moment for me. I was in the 6th grade. My class was doing midterms, and the whole class was quiet, and my allergies was cutting up and was bothering me, and I couldn't hold it. Hey Tina, how you doing? I couldn't hold the sneeze back, and I wound up sneezing out loud and passing gas at the same time. And my 6th grade peers they did not let me live it down for the rest of the year. I was known as that fart girl, okay? Because I sneezed and I pooed it at the same time in the 6th grade. Yes, those are both human attributes, human things that happen to our bodily functions. But God knows I wish that it didn't happen during a 6th grade midterm when the class was completely quiet. Okay, so, and that's something that I have absolutely lived with. I can laugh about it now, but I was like, oh Lord, it was really hard to live with it when I was in the 6th grade. Okay, so the next thing that we are talking about is why the red face. Okay, why the red face? So embarrassment, and again, this is an open, thank you, Lorenzo. This is an open platform. So if you have any questions or you have any scenarios that you want to share, I will pause and I will highlight that. So why the red face? Embarrassment has evolved in humans as a way to grease our social interactions, Harris says. So group living has been important to us for a very long time. And even if we don't intentionally want to violate a social norm, we sometimes do. So embarrassment serves the function of immediately and strongly displaying a oops, I didn't mean to do that moment. Okay. All right. So Dr. Harris says that recent research has expanded our understanding of the social side of embarrassment. She says that as a doctoral candidate, Matthew Feinberg, who is PhD, now a postdoctoral scholar at Stanford University, he explored the social benefits of embarrassment with the University of California, Berkeley, actually. So social psychologist Rob Willer and Dr. Keitner, the researchers found that people who tended to express more outward signs of embarrassment while describing their embarrassing moments, such as tripping or passing gas, like I did, guys. I talked about my embarrassing passing gas moment, okay, in the 6th grade. Also reported a tendency to be more, it says more pro-social. Who would ever thought that being, experiencing embarrassment socially actually causes you to be more pro-social. That's really something. But according to Dr. Harris's research, it turns out that this is a fact. Okay, so that is kinder and more generous. So people who have experienced embarrassing moments socially, they're actually more kinder and they're more generous. And you can find this in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. You can find that there. So, and in fact, those easily embarrassed people proved to be more generous. That was in a lab experiment in which they were asked to share raffle tickets with strangers. So these people who were embarrassed, they actually showed themselves to be more generous and kind. So in another facet of this study, Feinberg and his colleagues found that revealing embarrassment offers a social benefit as well. Okay, so embarrassment actually offers a social benefit. All right, so they exposed volunteers to an actor who expressed either embarrassment or they expressed pride. after a researcher publicly praised their performance on a test. So when the actor expressed embarrassment, study participants found him more trustworthy and wanted to affiliate with him more, with that actor. So clearly people don't enjoy experiencing embarrassment. But Feinberg says but in the bigger social picture, there is a plus side to being embarrassed. Okay. So let's talk about the benefits now of embarrassment. And let me move this on here. All right. The benefits of embarrassment. Let me go back. Excuse me. There we go. The benefits of being embarrassed. So the benefits of embarrassment, however, might depend on who's watching. An associate professor of social psychology at the National Autonomous University of Mexico found that people are more likely to be embarrassed when they err in front of members of their own social group. So, I mean, think of us, well, a lot of us, I'm a Christian counselor. So, being a Christian, I actually go to church. So, imagine being embarrassed in front of my peers at church. Okay, it's going to affect you one way or the other. So it says, Dr. Eller says that people are less embarrassed when outsiders see them goof up, especially when the outsiders are seen as, he says, lower in status. Now, I don't believe in that, the lower in status thing. Okay, so Eller found that European Journal of Social Psychology, she identified with in-group members and generally valued their opinions more than opting out group members. She says that the findings may have practical implications for intergroup relations. So in most cases, Eller says that embarrassment is adaptive. And that's something that, wow, how embarrassment can be adaptive. But it can, because I talked about my 6th grade embarrassment. By the time I went to the 7th grade, I wasn't considered the poop girl anymore. They forgot about it. They moved on. And I went to 7th grade and started a whole new year and still was socially accepted by my peers. Okay. So Dr. Ella is saying that embarrassment is adaptive. So expressing the emotion tends to repair social relationships and elicit forgiveness, which clearly they forgave or they forgot. Let's just say they forgot about that. Okay. All right. So, and as Feinberg has shown, signs of sheepishness may even advertise trustworthiness. Okay. So on the other hand, failure to experience or display much embarrassment to members of another social group may actually harden prejudices and even widen the gap between us versus them. All right. So, however, increased contact between two social groups reduce prejudice, Ella says. So as people get to know members of an outside group, they begin to care more about how they're perceived by them, which is true. The more you get to know people, the more you think about how you want people to think about you. That's just the bottom line. Okay. So increasing the likelihood that they'll become embarrassed in awkward situations, Dr. Ella was saying. When it comes to bridging social differences, in other words, a little embarrassment may go a long way. Okay. So I showed earlier, Tommy Boy. I showed Tommy Boy, a little clip of Tommy Boy where he was pretending to be a steward, an airline steward. And he was trying to fake his way through doing the opening where, teaching you how to put on your seatbelt and all that. He put the airbag on and it was too small for him and it almost choked him. And then he had to get a pen from a lady and so he could breathe. And he was embarrassed, but he got through it. Although his friend didn't help when he insulted him and everything. It didn't help, but he got over it. All right. So now let's move on to can people being judged by their embarrassing situations. So embarrassment does have a dark side. We all know that. I told y'all for the rest of the 6th grade year, I was known as that poop girl. Okay. So yes, embarrassment does have a dark side. However, on first blush, Embarrassment may seem like a very benign emotion, but as you start to explore the motivational effects that embarrassment has, there are substantial real-world consequences, even people risking their health or their lives, says Dr. Harris. Now, there are some people that really experience like anxiety type embarrassment, and they won't make proper decisions, what I talked about earlier. They won't make the right logical decisions when it comes to something, especially in their health. So Dr. Harris says, case in point, some people are so embarrassed, like if they're trying to, for instance, shop for prophylactics. Researchers at Duke University found that buying prophylactics often elicits embarrassment to some people, potentially putting people at risk of sexually transmitted diseases and unwanted pregnancies. So if they're too mortified to take the prophylactics through the checkout lane, and this is psychology, health, and medicine, that's just one of many examples of an embarrassment affecting a person's well-being. So men that fail to get prostate exams, that's another way extreme embarrassment affects them making the right decision towards their health. Women could skip mammograms. That's because of an embarrassment moment. Hey, Helen, she said yes, she had to sing and the organist didn't know her key. So he sat there. Woo! She said, I was embarrassed. Girl, let me tell you something, Helen. You know me because I'm a singer too. He did you a favor. Helen, he did you a favor by not trying to back you up. You sang that song a cappella, and I know you sang that song. Okay, because it would came out a lot worse if he could not get your key. He couldn't play English because a lot of these instrumentalists, they have taught themselves how to play, but they have not taught themselves how to play in every key. So if they don't know how to play in the key that you're singing in, then a lot of times they try to make you sing in a key that they only know how to play in. And so he did you a favor, Helen, by not playing for you. I understand you felt embarrassed, but girl, he did you a favor. And I know you sang that song a cappella. All right. So Dr. Harris says that even with women, some women will skip getting mammograms because they're so embarrassed about having to go and expose themselves to a doctor or to a nurse, which that's their job. That's what they do. Seniors may avoid using hearing aids because they're embarrassed about having the hearing aid shown. And so they just rather go around talking about, like that. So, and I know some people that are like that. And people of all stripes may fail to mention awkward symptoms or even avoid the doctor altogether because of they feeling embarrassed. So fear of embarrassment causes people to behave in really irrational ways, says Dr. Harris. Understanding more about the emotion itself can help people decide when they should think twice about embarrassment, preventing them from engaging in helpful behaviors. Helpful, not harmful, helpful behaviors. So unfortunately, Dr. Harris adds that it is not clear how best to help people deal with this type of anxiety type of emotion, embarrassment. For some people, this type of anxiety embarrassment can become crippling, not just in healthcare settings, but in other social situations as well. From making new friends to going on dates, they don't have good ways of telling people how they can cope with their embarrassment. Dr. Harris says, but she says, good news though, is there other ways? Is that others may not judge us as severely as we judge ourselves? Which that's it. Helen just gave an example. Helen, I'm sure people was not judging you with that scenario, with you singing a cappella. They probably was actually looking at what really happened and was looking at the instrumentalist saying like, okay, he just don't know the key. And that, so, sometimes we do think that people are really looking at us more than what they are, or they're concentrating more on what happened than what they are. And it's a normal thing. It is normal. So Dr. Harris says that she said that that other people may not be judging us the way we think they are. And She says, okay, so her colleagues asked volunteers to imagine a social mishap or public failure, such as bumping into a classmate at the mall while carrying a bag of low status store items, or forgetting to check out a library book, thereby setting off an alarm. So they also embarrass subjects publicly by describing them in an unflattering way to an observer. This is my point. So we all saw on social media and on the news this weekend, how a certain Republican from here in Atlanta was being confrontational during I don't know if it was the Trump trial, or it was something else governmental. But this Republican down here is known for being controversial and known for being actually very disrespectful in that professional setting. And it took the right person. It was one of us sisters. And she's known as a hero right now. Has she called her a bad bill? And this is what Dr. Harris is talking about. How subjects publicly describing people in an unflattering way to observers, and how this person had defended herself by calling that troublemaker a bad bill, and went from there. I'm not gonna say the rest of what she said, but she called her a bad built woman. And you know what? Sometimes people do have to be embarrassed in order to get them to stop doing what they are doing in a negative way. All right. So in all cases, the researchers found that observers judge people much less harshly than the embarrassed people expected. Okay. So the observers, they judge people much less harshly than the embarrassed people expected them to. So the next time that we trip on a sidewalk, or we forget an acquaintance's name, or realize maybe that your zipper is down, okay, or you actually sneeze and pass gas at the same time. Take a deep breath, that was what happened to me in the 6th grade. Take a deep breath and try to shake it off. Our ruby red cheeks and nervous smile may be broadcasting our best traits, which is that we are human. We're all human, and embarrassment happens to us all. So I'm going to move this along. Our takeaway for tonight, let me open this up. Our takeaway says that people who tended to express more outward signs of embarrassment while describing their embarrassing moments, such as tripping or passing gas in public, also reported a tendency to be more pro-social. That is kinder, and they're more generous. Okay, so that is our takeaway. Okay, let me open this up a little bit. So our quote for tonight, I'm going to keep this quote properly for the rest of the month. And it says, embarrassment is where growth happens. And I'm going to say embarrassment is where growth should happen. If you can't learn through anything else, you should be able to learn through being embarrassed. Okay. And that's by Jaylen Brown. So let's move this on. Okay, we're doing good. I'm almost at 30 minutes is almost up. We're doing good. We're doing good. All right. So my theory, this is from my fellow theorists. This is where I got my theory from, my teachings from on tonight. Okay. All right. So better up. All right, better up. If you create a personal professional transformation through expert coaching, if you're looking for a life coach, go to betterup.com, www.betterup.com. All right, Adda Plus community. I love it. Empowering adults with ADD, ADHD, and OCD to live their best lives. A different brain requires a different approach. Adda Plus community. I'm sorry. I know y'all hear my puppies in the background. They tussling over here. Shh. Okay. All right. 988 crisis helpline, where it says help is available. If you need to connect with people that you trust, or if you know someone needs to connect with someone that they can trust, if you know someone who's struggling, It's okay to share your feelings. So the 988 Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people that are in distress, prevention and crisis resources for a person that is experiencing stress, okay, and for your loved ones, and best practices for professionals within the United States. That's 988 hotline 24/7 free. All right, let's move this on. BetterHelp.com. So if you want a safe space to speak with a licensed professional online, BetterHelp offers affordable counseling sessions for individuals, couples, and for the family. www.betterhelp.com. And this is learningrx.com. LearningRx. Brain training offers a way to strengthen your thinking skills. LearningRx has helped over more than 2,000 adults who have graduated with their IQ becoming 13 plus points higher from this brain training. Okay, so if you want to gain skills like improving your working memory and processing speed, and if you want a long-term memory in your attention, www.learningrx.com. All right, so if there is a past Counsel of the Day with Shanrae series that you missed or you just want to rewatch, go to my YouTube channel at Shanrae Price. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Then select any past series to rewatch. Now, I am also a professional one-on-one counselor, and if you would like professional one-on-one counseling from myself, please contact me at my Facebook Messenger at Shanrae Owens, or via my email at shanrae.price@gmail.com. I'm a lifestyle strategist, and my aim is to aid you in your life's goals and your life's dreams. Okay, I can work with somebody with as short as 15, 20 minutes, and just contact me if you're interested in one-on-one counseling. So this has been Counsel of the Day with Shanrae, Tuesday night, part 1, week 3. I will see y'all Thursday night for part 2 of week 3. Can you actually die of embarrassment? I'll see y'all 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursday night. Have a wonderful week. Wonderful, wonderful week. All right.
Do caca poo poo. Sing the pee pee.